Guys, good morning. Now we're going to see something about prepositions. We already know this. We're going to see in depth in, on, at. They can act as two kinds of prepositions, okay? So first, let me pull this into full screen. Okay, perfect. So first we're going to check the function as prepositions of time. Okay, so when we're using them for prepositions of time, at is only for a precise time, very specific time. Okay, then you have in to form months, years, centuries, and long periods of time, and on for days and dates. Okay, now here you have some very specific examples. At, as you can see, it's only time, 3 o'clock, 10 a.m., noon, which is 12, dinner time, which is the exact moment in which you sit to have dinner, bedtime, the exact moment where you go bed, sunrise, the precise moment in which the sun rises, sunset, and at the moment, right now. In months, May, years, in 1990, centuries, in the next century, long periods of time like summer. Summer is 3 months, so in summer. You can also say in the summer, okay? In the next century is not only a long period of time, it's also a century. In the Ice Age, which is a long, long period of time. So if you're speaking about a long period of time, in specific dates and days of the week, on Sunday, on Tuesdays, on March 6. Remember, if it's a day, a complete date, you use on and in only if you are speaking of only the month or only the year. But if you're speaking of month and year, on, okay, because that's a date. Perfect. Now, there are other expressions we can use with at. For example, at night, at the weekend, at Christmas, at the same time, and at present. They use at because they have a specific point. At night, it's a very specific period, okay? When the sun is not. At the weekend, 2 exact days. At Christmas, Christmas have a date. So every time you're using these expressions, you have to use at. And then you have other expressions with in and on, okay? So, in the morning, but on Tuesday morning. In the mornings, but on Saturday mornings. So, if you involve a day of the week, it has to be on. And if you're only speaking about the period of time, in. Okay? Perfect. Now, the prepositions as preposition of place. I'm sorry guys, but all of this is just about memory, so I'm giving it to you and then we will practice it, but I must say that you have to copy this on your notebooks and go memory. Sorry, but it's a must. Okay, so at for a point, in for an enclosed place, so if you are surrounded by walls, is in. If you are inside a stadium, inside a house, in. And on for a surface. Okay? So, at the corner, because it's a point. At the bus stop is a very specific point where you take the bus. At the door, at the top of the page. At school. Okay? You don't say in school, on school. You say at school. Enclosed space. If you have 4 walls around you or a fence around you, you can call it an enclosed space because it has a limit. In the garden, in London, in France, in a box, in my pocket. Okay? And on is all of the surfaces. On the wall, on the ceiling, on the door, on the corner. Okay, so you have to be very careful with this, specifically with at and in. You get to confuse it sometimes. Sometimes you say in school, but really, in reality, you are at school. Remember that if you are not inside that place, you are speaking of the place, so you will use at. Okay, so that's it for the presentation, and then you have an activity. Okay, this is the activity. You are going to have to copy it, so I'm going to leave it for a couple seconds and you are going to pause the video and copy it. Okay, so right now pause the video and copy this first part of the activity. Okay, pause. Okay, now that you have copied, you are going to copy the second part of the activity. Again, I'm going to hold it for a moment and you are going to pause the video and copy. Now that you have copied the activity, you have to answer it. And once it is answered, you're going to send a picture of it to me. Remember, it has to be on your notebook and all of the lines have to be done with red, okay? Lines with red and beautiful handwriting, please. Okay, send a picture of this activity once you have answered it and I will grade it. Have a great day and see you next video.